Hello everyone and welcome back to Star Wars Base Delta Zero. I've just finished reading Star Wars The High Republic Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule, and I wanted to give you my thoughts on the novel. This isn't going to be an in-depth review, just my basic opinion of the book. However, as it's still fairly new and I will be talking about some of the events and characters featured in the narrative, you can consider this your official spoiler warning. If you haven't read Light of the Jedi and you're wanting to experience this new era of Star Wars fresh, I encourage you to click away and get to reading, and then come back and see if you agree with me. For those of you who don't know, Light of the Jedi is the launchpad novel for what was once called Project Luminous. It takes place a couple hundred years before the Phantom Menace in a previously little explored era called the High Republic. The book kicks off with a massive freighter called the Legacy Run being ripped apart in hyperspace. Its pieces exit at random intervals and in random real space positions, and those pieces include the sealed compartments that contain about 9,000 surviving passengers. Several systems are affected, but most notably the Hetzal system. Debris enters at near luminal speeds, creating chaos and causing massive damage. Luckily, the Jedi happen to be nearby to stop the worst of what is termed the Great Disaster. And as the Republic desperately searches for clues as to what happened to the Legacy Run, a new enemy begins to emerge, the Nihil. So what are my thoughts on this brand new foray into a mysterious era of Star Wars? It's fine, I guess. This is no Thrawn trilogy or even New Jedi Order series, but it's a fairly enjoyable, middle-of-the-road Star Wars novel. And that really is unfortunate. Average is not what the High Republic needed to get off the ground, and it's not what Star Wars as a whole needs right now. This book really needed to be a mind-blowing experience for fans, but what we got was a mediocre entry that was clearly dictated by a panel of corporate managers. I don't count myself among the Star Wars fans that are screaming about how identity politics are killing the franchise, because I honestly don't care about those arguments. I just want new Star Wars content that has good and solid stories. And Light of the Jedi is kind of a mess. There were several characters presented that I really wanted to love, like Avar Kriss, the serene and wise Jedi Master, and Baraga, the antisocial Wookiee, and Kevin Tarr, the insanely talented computer engineer, and Lena So, the unwaveringly compassionate Supreme Chancellor. But none of them really had time to shine and give the reader a chance to emotionally attach. These are going to be the driving characters of the High Republic, and we have little more than a snapshot of who they are. And that's probably due to the sheer number of new characters. At any given time, there were 2 or 3 parallel stories happening in a narrative that was already paced like a runaway freight train. It became less about living in a universe with these people and more about the anticipation of the next action set piece. Even Yoda, the character I was very much looking forward to seeing in his younger years, was relegated to a forced name drop and a minuscule cameo. There just wasn't room for everybody's favorite Green Jedi Master. And the new threat that faces the Jedi and Republic in their prime are just those guys from Mad Max, complete with heavy metal music, except with spaceships and more drugs. And the supposedly grand enemy is held together by an honor system that is tenuous at the best of times. It's hard to imagine the Nihil being able to maintain cohesion as we move forward, much less pose an actual threat. I know that the Sith are in hiding at this point in history, but give us a Dathomirian witch uprising, or an upstart Darksider with the Mur Talisman, or hell, give us the Yuuzhan Vong making an earlier canon appearance. Just give us something that actually feels like a threat. To be fair, it is hinted that there's something deeper about Marchion Ro, the so-called Eye of the Nihil, and who knows, maybe he'll surprise me in upcoming High Republic material. But so far, he leaves me feeling relatively unimpressed. He's no Vader or Thrawn or even Kylo Ren. But all of my critiques aside, I must reiterate that Light of the Jedi isn't a terrible book. It's average. It probably won't make anybody's favorite top 10 Star Wars novels, but it's still a pretty fun way to spend a weekend. And there were more than a few intriguing ideas introduced that make me want to spend a little more time in the High Republic era. I like the way that the Nihil are able to navigate hyperspace with a Force sensitive at the wheel, and how the Force is viewed through different lenses for every individual Jedi. And the Jedi starfighters of the High Republic, the Vector, could easily become one of my favorite fighters as we move along. My conclusion is that Light of the Jedi better serves as an introduction to an interesting series, something to be viewed more as a source book than as a great Star Wars story in itself. My conclusion is that Light of the Jedi better serves as an introduction to an interesting series, something to be viewed more as a source book than as a great Star Wars story by itself. And as long as they can take what they've set up and run with it, then who knows, we could have some great Star Wars on our hands. But have you read Light of the Jedi? And if so, are you looking forward to seeing where this new era leads? Let me know in the comments below. And that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this rant about Light of the Jedi and you're looking forward to more Star Wars content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Star Wars Base Delta Zero.